Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going today to be setting up my Archer and Olive bullet journal for June. I wanted to start off though by showing you guys how May looks. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick flip through of that so you can see kind of how that turned out. I will have my May setup linked above. You can see how some of these pages are looking as I start to fill them in, and the different weekly spreads that I set up. I kind of went back to a journaling style towards the end. Of the time tracking just wasn't working for me. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into the time lapse, and you'll see that this month's theme is Gingham with Cherries, which was super exciting to me. I basically just took my Tombow Dual Brush pen in 451, which is the light blue. It's the same color I was using in the May setup for, like, I guess the sky color in the weekly spreads when I was highlighting the days. But I just alternated every other square across the entire page, pulling the pen straight down to myself. So there was no penciling in of this cover page at all. And then I'll turn the whole bullet journal and go, technically it's horizontally, but I'm still pulling the pen towards myself to get the cross sections and that really kind of classic gingham look where the cross sections are a shade darker. And so I really love how it turns out in the end, and I was surprised that I couldn't really find any other versions of this on YouTube, but it's a theme that works in so many different ways. It's so simple to set up, like it's just straight lines. One of the fastest monthly setups I've ever done. I think the whole thing start to finish, I had less than 2 hours of footage to edit down to this 20-minute video. So just super quick, super easy. The doodles are really basic, and it can be adapted for any season. You know, you can do any pastel color for the background. I'm just kind of obsessed with it, and if I could, I'd probably do gingham every single month. So then I go in with my Tombow in, oh gosh, that color, 856 is the cherry color. So 451 for the blue gingham and 856 for the cherries. And then I took my Staedtler fine liner, which is I think a 0.3 millimeter, in the bright green for the stems and leaves. So you can see where I took my Staedtler fine liner in black to write the days of the week in the mini calendar, and then my Pigma Micron 005 to write in the days. And then for the actual name, I just went with the Tombow N15, the black Tombow that comes in like all the sets, to write in June in just the basic, lettering style. I will also say leaving just kind of some cherries at the top and cherries at the bottom would have worked really well, but I wanted like a whole pattern thing. I didn't want it to look too much like a pattern, so one of the ways I struggled with this is alternating the leaves on the double cherries to left or right facing, and then mixing in single cherries here and there as well, without it being like rows of just cherries on the same level and everything. I tried to make it be a little bit more casual. Casual is not the right word. A little bit more freeform. I'm totally blanking on the word here, but just like not lines of cherries. Moving on to the quote page, I've been struggling to find quotes that center around confidence, but this one is just a little self-love quote. "You are so much sunshine in every square inch," saying this to myself, by Walt Whitman. And then I'm erasing it because I had penciled it in like too high, and then I went in like 4 rows lower, and then I just started to do the whole gingham background, and the 451 Tombow was pulling the black down with it, like it was smearing, and I didn't like that. Don't like smearing, so I left this blank space around the quote, which at first I didn't love, but I cleaned it up a little bit after I was finished, and I'm happy with how it turned out as well. Okay, as far as the gingham goes, some great combinations would be like pink with cherries, like a pale pink, or pale green with cherries, or with strawberries. I know somebody who did a pale yellow with sunflowers, which turned out beautiful as well. Orange with oranges, you know, just kind of keep in mind that whatever color you're using for the gingham background may show through if you're doing something light as a decor. The bright red of the cherries on this kind of really helped overthrow the pale blue lines, so you don't really see too much of a shadow or too much of a shading difference on the cherries themselves. So just keep that in mind if you're going to do a gingham theme. How cute and summery is this cover page? I am obsessed. So obsessed with it right now. I cannot wait to start using it next month. Moving on to the calendar page. This, again, one of the fastest calendar setups I've ever done. I did go in really lightly and pencil in just so I didn't mess up, you know, starts on a Tuesday, ends on a Wednesday, and I almost did. If you see, I have this starting on Tuesday and ending on Tuesday, and I'm thinking, what did you do? So I had to go in and fix it. Like, I almost made a mistake. So then I take again the N15 Tombow, the not brush tip end, the other end, for the straight thick black lines, and I just used the 451 light blue to highlight the top line of each day for the week. And then I'll use I believe I use the Staedtler for the numbers actually on this one, just because it's a bigger calendar. It's not the mini calendar, so I wanted the numbers to be a little bit more visible. So to incorporate the gingham and cherries into the calendar spread, I just did these big sections with the pattern on them that I wasn't going to use. Instead of leaving the space blank or, you know, doing some kind of intense doodle like I would do with other themes, I just threw in this pattern anywhere where there was a big empty space throughout the setup. And yeah, again, just super easy. I think this whole calendar spread, start to finish, took me less than 20 minutes to completely finish. Because all you do is you really just take the brush tip pen of the red and you make little circles, and then you draw little sticks in green and little leaves. It's like so easy, so easy. So, question for you guys, if you were to do a gingham theme for your bullet journal, what month would you use it for, and what combination would you do? Like a blue and cherries, or a green and strawberries, yellow and sunflowers? What would your perfect gingham theme be? And then we're moving on to the habit and mood tracker as well as the brain dump. I did something very similar to this in my daughter's bullet journal for March, I think it was, or maybe it was April. It was her rainbow theme, where instead of individual habit trackers, it's like a little grid, and then instead of a doodle heavy mood tracker, it's like a scale of 1 to 10, essentially, vertically writing the numbers of the month, and then kind of just filling in how great the day was that day. I even left space off to the right hand side for like a keyword or two, not very much. I'm leaving off the 2 lines a day this month. I just don't use it since I'm journaling daily. I'm writing down the things that are happening and, you know, my key feelings, so I just don't need the 2 lines a day, so I've left that off for June. But I did leave myself a little space here. I think it's like 6 or 7 boxes wide, where I can write down like a key thing like anxiety or great, or, you know, movies, if we went out to the movies or something, when we can hopefully eventually do that again. But that's the idea here. So I write down all the days of the month going down. I'll do a single letter for the habits that I want to track, and I just know what they are. Working out, eating healthy or eating on plan, getting enough water, H for H2O, things like that. So that's really it, and I'm in love with the giant banner of Gingham with cherries. I don't think I can say enough times in this video how much I love these pages. For my brain dump, I decided to do a full page gingham. So the whole page is, oh, excuse me, the whole page is gingham, and then I just do a border of cherries, like a pattern around the edge. I almost just did a border of the gingham, but only having 2 lines across, it doesn't really give you a gingham look. So I went with the full page instead, and absolutely love. Aside from the cover page, this is my favorite 2-page spread of this setup, is the habit and mood tracker and the brain dump page. just adding some finishing touches, these leaves to these double cherries. And you guys, I don't even know if I want to write on this brain dump page. It is so cute. I just want to keep it perfect forever. And I'm skipping ahead, I don't know, like 5-6 pages or something. I counted them out correctly. But I'm skipping ahead because I'm going to do a Dutch Door weekly for the entire month of June. So here I'm doing my mid-year review. So I'm just doing a really simple 3-line deep gingham. Just that's the minimum for a gingham pattern, is 3 deep in whichever direction. And I'm just gonna write in mid-year on the page of the left, review on the page of the right, and add in just a couple cherries, not like a whole giant mess of them this time. But this is where I'll check in with my overall long-term goals for the year for 2021. Because at this point at the end of June, we will be halfway through 2021, you guys. I cannot believe it has been that long already. But yeah, I'll check in with my goals. I will write about the best and worst things that happened thus far, what I want to kind of carry forward into the next half of the year. So that's the mid-year review. So what's not on camera here is that I cut 11 squares in from the edge of, I don't know, I think it's 5 pages, possibly 6, I think it's 5 pages. And then I'm doing just borders that are 11 rows in on this first page for a June title, mini calendar, and a monthly to-do list for like things that I don't assign to a specific day. And then on the right-hand side, doing the same thing, 11 rows in of gingham pattern with a couple decorative cherries here and there. And that's where I'll put my notes section for the month. Doing them on a weekly basis, I've noticed in May that I'm just not using very much space, so I think this whole border would actually work for the entire month. So for each day's header, I'm just doing, again, just minimum, the 2 lines of gingham. The only reason this works here is because it looks like it's coming off of the side border. Also totally messed it up on the first page and gave myself a really big Monday. So I spaced it out a little bit better on the second page, and then I'll just go in and write the days of the week and the number. And again, just not penciling things in, totally almost wrote Wednesday the 3rd for whatever reason and had to fix it. But essentially what I'll do is I'll have the Dutch door style here where I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, weekend. But this time I added in just next week just for the space, simply because, yeah, I had the space and I didn't want to screw it up and not start it on Monday next week, because that's how I am. So here's the final flip through, my Gingham and Cherries June setup, which I am completely in love with. The bright contrasting colors, the simple pattern design, and just the beautiful aesthetic of it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and again, if you're going to do a gingham theme, please let me know how that turns out, and I will see you guys next time.